Hey everyone, you're getting ready to watch one of our hot seat interviews recorded live at Creative South in Columbus, Georgia. It's where we sit down with artists and creatives from all over the world, from different industries, and just chat a little bit about what they do and just go over some questions with them. It's a good time, it's fun. If you like what you are watching, head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/M of One podcast, and follow us so that you can see lots more content like this. But without any further ado, here comes the hot seat interview. We're sitting here with the man, the myth, the legend, and then also Lenny is here. Welcome.
I got excited. I was like, holy crap. I didn't know.
Who's Aaron Draplin's going to be on the show?
we were going to have a guest.
Welcome to the show, Lenny Terenzi. Welcome him to the show.
Yay. Round of applause.
The crowd is already going crazy.
Yeah. The one guy that's like still awake from last night.
Yes, exactly. It's not us. We're not.
Yeah.
No. So Lenny, before we jump into things, I know most of our community knows who you are, but for those people who are tuning in who maybe aren't yet part of our community or who are new to it, tell them who you are.
Lenny Terenzi. There's a lot of formers in my title now. Former screen printer, former, I guess I'm still those things, but right now I've just been going by Lenny Terenzi. It's just Lenny. I'm an in-house designer now, and just settling into that singular role after so many years of not singular roles, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little bit.
Yeah, so when did that transition happen for you? I know that this was a bit like you were kind of reinventing a lot of your life, and this was part of that decision, but when did that transition happen?
The transition happened November 30th, 2021. That's the day that I closed the studio door, turned the key, and walked out. So that was the transition day. But honestly, like a lot of people, third week of March 2020 when the pandemonium hit, it's when everything, my whole business was set up on gathering people, right? Bringing people together, doing workshops, being creative together, right? And we legally couldn't do that for a good year.
I'm very curious in this process what you've learned about, frankly, saying goodbye to things.
That it was a lot of people, and I knew it would happen, this year, oh, I'm so sad that it closed. And I get that. And I always wonder, how should I answer? Because, I'm not.
Well,
I loved
you
it.
made peace with it.
Yeah, I loved it, and I do not regret
it.
The bad, and there was a lot of bad. The good, there was a lot of good.
Sure.
It really came down to, making peace with it. Like you said, there was a long time where I probably knew I wanted to shut down quite a while ago, honestly. But right, you get that thing where it's like, well, I put a lot of work into this. I put a lot of money into this. I did a lot of this and a lot of this, and then
this is me, and it's like when it's your business.
Yeah, we're gonna
big
unpack
part of
this
it.
Is me part too. This is me. That is where the mind starts to come in, right? And then you have your friends and family who absolutely are coming from the heart. Oh, keep going, you can do it. Go, rah, rah. And they're doing it purely out of love.
Yeah.
But then all that's going on, and inside my head, I'm literally going, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's the cheerleaders on the sideline cheering for the football players who are in overtime, sweating and can't catch their breath, and they're saying, "Come on, just push a little harder." And you're like, "I've given everything I've got."
Yes.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
I'm done today.
I can't keep going. I physically can't, emotionally can't, whatever it is. And they mean well, but it's like, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
It's time to stop.
Exactly.
Know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Exactly, right? Man. Kenny Rogers had it right back in the 70s.
And they have, like you said, the best intentions, and they think they're encouraging you to do what they think you want to do and what you think is good for you, but you know better than anybody what's going on in your head and what is best for you.
And it was such an interesting paradigm shift from when I started the studio. So when I say I started the studio, that was about 10 years ago, meaning the studio itself. I've been working for myself as either myself or Hey Monkey for almost 25 years. So that's the other thing was, it's a lot the last 9 to 5 or a job I held was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
You need to write a talk about firing yourself. That's got to be your next
Oh, yeah.
talk.
there is, I've got a lot of bits put together.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
gonna
very
be,
good catchphrase.
When we
firing
start
yourself.
doing our when we start doing our conference circuit again and start
Yes.
running into each other all over the world.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
ready to hear it.
But but you said, I just want to real quick.
Yeah.
You talked about it becomes who you are and the identity, and that was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, there was absolutely a battle of ego involved. It's like, well, because everybody like, hey, it's you're Hey Monkey or it's Hey Monkey. If they didn't like know my name, and I was like, well, shit, who am I if I'm not? And that I had
You're
to be
Lenny.
Like, yeah, I'm still Lenny. It's still like that. But when you've tied something to it.
Yeah.
And it has such a personal tie, right? The studio's named after the first 2 words I said to my daughter when she was, there's so much emotional ties. The studio, honestly,
and it's
is
your
the
work,
reason.
and you created it, like it's your baby.
It literally became one and the same.
Yeah.
I definitely want to make sure we talk about the new stuff, but I have one curious question.
Oh yeah.
Being in. Because you were traveling a lot. You were traveling, you were speaking and things like that.
Yeah, I think we did like 4 or 5 things together in 1 year. Like 2017.
We saw each other every 3 weeks. Yeah,
2017, we were doing each other's laundry.
But I'm curious if because when you look at the people that are on stage, you assume like high amount of success and high amount of this. Did that make it more difficult for you to make your decision? Or did it play any sort of part, like that environment that you were in outside of it?
The difficult part was me reconciling with the stuff and the words that I said in 2015 on stage. Like, for instance, that was my first talk. There's a lot of stuff happened, and if I think back, and not a lot of time when I think about, especially when 2 years of that time kind of went off the calendar almost, right? A lot of it was like, am I a fraud? Did I lie? It's like, no, because at that time, in that moment, in my brain and everything, that's where I was.
Sure.
Right? That's what I was doing, and it's like. It's that again, that paradigm shift of when I started. It's when that hustle culture, work hard, don't worry about sleep. And we've had a big shift because of the pandemic. But even then, you could sense it coming, where a lot of people were like, "No, man, I got to take a damn nap. I am not hustling anymore. Hustling does not mean working hard. Right?
Yes,
we got to start getting to a work harder, work smarter.
Yep.
Versus work harder, right? And so that was, in that shift was I started here during that. But then I'm ending here during that, and it was just coming to grips with like, no, it's okay. And really what did it, as I was watching TikTok, everybody's favorite time suck during the pandemic.
Yep.
And Gary Vee had a little clip, and I admittedly originally was not a fan because he was really hustle culture guy.
Yeah.
He has definitely had a big shift to sort of chilling and doing that. And he had a young woman stood up, and she was like, I've been doing this for 6, 7 years. And I'm just tired and I'm bored. And he was like, then you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that was literally it.
That's the pull chain on that light bulb.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
So I think what's important, just to go back to something you said a second ago, reinvention, evolving, all of these things that we do, that like maturing, the growth, does not discount any of the things that came before.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean you regret any of the things that came before. It doesn't mean that any of those things were wrong.
Yep.
You just
It's
changed.
You're just taking a different path now, doing something different, and all you can do is I heard this, that like being married is hard, being divorced is hard. Choose your hard.
Yeah.
Being fat is hard. Being fit is hard.
Yeah.
Choose your hard.
Choose
right.
your hard.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're doing, just make that your decision and go after it. And if that hard thing doesn't end up working, then choose a different hard. But it's just a constant pinging back and forth forward.
Yes.
And it's not to say that anything that happened before is
Negated.
is invalid, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no,
Yeah,
it was,
absolutely.
When that was the moment, right? That old Gary Vee clip was literally the moment. I was click, done, no regret. Like that moment,
Yeah.
I still had to close and go through the hard of doing that, but there
But
was
you knew.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
He
I was
requires
like,
me to call him Mr. Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
And you get to call him V?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Vster,
Yeah.
the
Gosh.
the V Meister.
We have a very different relationship with Mr. Gary.
Yeah. I've been told I'm not allowed to say the V. but that's for different reasons.
Did he finally copyright and trademark the letter?
I don't know. We'll
He
see.
probably did.
But there was under threat of maybe just punches, not legal action.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. What the other thing? So that was part 2 of the decision.
Yeah.
Part 1 of the decision came about 2 years before that, and because I literally just saw her walk in and go into the theater as I was having breakfast with my friend Emily Breary, great designer, AIGA Raleigh board member up in Raleigh. She just walked in, and I was sitting down and we were just talking, and I was like, literally, it was a week after my studio had flooded. The landlords were driving by one day, and a waterfall was coming out of my warehouse garage.
Oh my God!
Because a pipe had burst in there, and there was like 2 or 3 inches of standing water. Yeah. And I was, and that had followed divorce or separation at that point, which had followed, you know, like that. And I was just like, what else? And she was like, stop, man. She goes, you know, take the path of least resistance if you want. It's okay. You know, if everything is a struggle here, it doesn't denote how hard you've worked. It just, you know, something's just saying like, is there another sign I could give you? Because I'm about to blow up the building if you don't get out of there, right? Exactly. And that started just the wheel turning, and then it was over the pandemic, and then all that stuff that was like, lock, okay.
Yep.
So what are you excited about right now?
You know what's great is my answer is nothing. And that is what I'm actually excited about, right? Yeah. It's not that I'm not excited.
No, I get that. Because, like, having time to rest is something to be excited about now. Like, I'm terrible about work-life balance because, like, freelance. And, like, making time to, like, take vacations and not work all the time has been, like, a much bigger priority for me. But it's tough to just turn it off when you're still at home all the time.
And when I closed the studio, you know, it was November 30th, I slept, and I'm talking slept for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like 13, 14, 15 hours a day. It was 25 years
of sleep.
Of that. Just like, you know, hitting. And then for the next month, I did 0, you know, because we're now in the holidays. So I actually felt like I really was able to savor and enjoy in ways that I thought I was before.
Yeah,
you know, taking time off and like that. I was like, this is a whole new level. You know, I was playing video games again. Right in those moments when you run your own thing, I really should do the social media posts. I really need to like line up a month's worth of content.
Especially when every time you log in, your hours are there, and you're just like, I could have done this.
It's like, no, I really need to play Ratchet and Clank. That's what I really need to do right now.
I love that you're back. That you're back into doing your slam poetry. Which that for me, I was sad that went away. So I'm just glad that the world.
I can't.
The snapping fingers.
Are you doing the Beyonce like all the single ladies? Like I don't understand.
Well, that's my first. That was my first slam poetry. Nobody knows. But Queen Bee got that from me.
Oh,
I love that you have nickname. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
No, she licensed it from him.
The checks and the lawyers are going to start rolling in any moment.
So I want to ask this question about Creative South, because this is something that I've noticed this year, which is different than maybe years past.
Yeah.
You are staying in your lane, right? And there were a couple of times where I would ask you a question, and you'd be like, I don't know, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't have to worry about that, right? Like, you were in charge of Ink Wars, and that night we were supposed to get gusts of wind of like 20 miles an hour, and I said, are you concerned about the boards up there? And you said, I'm not concerned at all. I'm not the one drawing. But that's the backside of that is you seem like you are doing a good job of staying in your lane, taking care of the things you need to take care of, and not overtly worrying about the things that you aren't responsible for or
or can't control.
Right, that seems like a healthy thing, and that seems maybe to be true across the board for the conference this year, where things are running a half hour behind. We're just gonna roll with it, right? Like, and nobody freaking out, nobody panicking, and still seeing like Mike and you and Doc and the team floating around doing stuff, still wanting to stop by and chat with us, and nobody is running around with their head cut off this year. It doesn't mean everything's going perfectly.
That was horrific when that happened, though.
That wasn't that
so much blood.
You know how, like, I mean, and these are historic carpets and
it's amazing.
Ever since the accident,
those rentable cleaners from Food Lion and the grocery store do wonders on these carpets.
Food Lion, I have not heard Food Lion in probably 20 years.
Whatever the San Antonio, what is the Food Lion down there?
HEB.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
HEB.
We saw Piggly Wiggly here too.
No, there's a Piggly Wiggly down the street, and that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So is that a very intentional decision on your part to say,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely has been my year of no, which I'm not used to saying.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like after being, yes for so long, and again, no regrets, I had to say like yes to me.
Yeah.
I saw yesterday, which unfortunately 99% of the conference didn't see, but Mina Khalili spoke for the student portfolio review, and I'm throwing out to hear it. Amazing talks, and there's going to be amazing talks today. That was one of the best. To call it a talk is almost doing it. I almost feel like she gave a manifesto.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I actually had tears.
Oh, wow.
At the end of it, and it was, when I was coming here this year, and I was like, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to do this. I didn't bring any of my jackets this year. Everybody was like, you got your jacket for Ink Wars? I was like, nope. It's just Lenny, and I'm gonna. That's part of me, and when I'm talking and doing talks again, like I'm gonna throw those on. Those are my confidence objects and stuff like that.
And the jock straps.
And the jock straps.
The chaps.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Sounds like a great outfit.
That's still Lenny too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's all it's the different phases of Lenny. But it's when I was coming this year, I was actually nervous. Yeah, I haven't been nervous to come since the first time because what is this?
Yeah.
In 2015, because it's like I'm about to speak in front of 1,000 people. I was nervous because I was like, what am I gonna feel? Like I wasn't here to see any of the speakers. I love them all,
Yeah.
I wasn't here for that. I wasn't it's like, what is actually going to inspire me? Because right now I'm not, because I'm purposely not in that phase. And I was like, is something going to inspire me? And I was okay if nothing did. For me, it was really about seeing you guys, seeing people, and doing that, and it not being a career thing at all. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to a design conference for work? And I was like, no, And I saw great talks. I mean, Doc, Dave, and Diane were fantastic. Chris, there were great talks. Mina's inspired me. Mina's actually, I think, might be the cornerstone of whenever I do a talk again, of like something will have happened by then that I may have gotten involved in, and that's going to be was her talk. So that was,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds
All
so
right.
great.
We've done this is a heavy start to our day. Inspirational for sure, but like we have dived into the deep end. So we do want to lighten things up a little bit because you are Lenny, and we like to play games with you. So,
what is the rating on this podcast?
It's Twitch, so you can do whatever you want.
Oh, sweet.
You know the drill here. You're a veteran to this.
Yes.
You were showing me your Hall of Fame of hot seat pins on your backpack last night.
Yeah.
But you're going to become the master of something for the next 2 to 3 minutes, and we're not going to be able to say anything about it because you're the master, and you're going to know what it is. So flip over one of those tokens, and then something new, fun, and noteworthy from that topic. You're going. Oh, there we go.
Books. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Latest. Oh, okay. The latest book that I have been reading, aside from my Comixology account from Amazon with all the comic books, is a book. It's called The First 21, written by Nikki Sixx, bass player from Motley Crue. Hair metal. I grew up in that era, and they back in the day they were the golden gods, right? The musicians and stuff. And now with social media and the fact that they're older, and most of them are still alive somehow, and they're writing books.
Somehow
they're preserved.
I am absolutely fascinated by reading about them because, to me, it was like that's what I want to do. And then you read your books, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't go down that fucking path.
Right?
That's looking at the stuff, and so to get a book that kind of detailed from his childhood right until he became famous, I just find fascinating.
Oh,
to,
that's
see
really
those.
cool.
Like the first 21 years. Is that the
21.
idea?
Yep.
Okay.
The first 21 years is what it was about. And it was a shorter book for him. He's tended to do a lot of photography and books on just creativity and stuff like that within the confines of his career. And this one was just about the level of abuse and things that he sustained that turned him into Nikki Sixx.
You get to see which parts are formative and which parts are just wild luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was that's been my most recent read. That's been awesome.
That's good.
Christmas present from my daughter Bella.
If you're,
nice.
How is Bella doing, by the way?
She's doing fantastic.
She's in school now, right?
No, she's not. She, like a lot of us, same thing. Pandemic was a reset button on a lot of stuff for her. Yep, a lot of stuff for her. And I'm just giving her as much grace and space as I can to just
the latitude
slowly,
to do.
fold out the wings and She's realized, that she is a creative soul. She still loves the things that she even spoke about here, photography and all that.
Yeah.
But she started to feel a lot of pressure. She's like, before I even really learned to love it, I felt like I had to start monetizing it and do it right. The same thing of how we
same
tried to
hustle
capital.
culture.
Yeah. And I was like, then stop. Go get a job at Target till you're 30. I don't care. Just be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Just be happy, and then the rest of that stuff will flood in. And it was serendipitous because that's literally where my mind was at. Let's stop.
Yeah. You made it a family event.
Just
so you know, Mackenzie is watching, and she said, "Miss you, friend. Hugs."
She's talking to Lauren.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lenny.
Mackenzie.
I'll be what, an hour from you guys in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We'll be down in Austin.
Besides reading the first 21, what is making you happy in Comixology? Like, what are your titles that you're reading right now in your comics?
That was going to be my question as well.
It's fun. I've been sort of digging into because I just got it, so it's been like just looking through like back issues of stuff. I've been really into a lot of the singular stories they've been pulling out for Star Wars, like Vader and stuff
Vader
like that.
is so good. Yes.
And one of my favorites, a lot of people said they haven't liked her. I love Dr. Aphra.
Me too.
In Star Wars.
Yes.
She
came from the Darth Vader series. Yeah. So yeah.
It's like literally Han Solo as a
it's like Indiana Jones
and Han Solo
and together
in Star Wars.
Yeah, and she has
Dr.
an evil
Aphra.
C-3PO like companion. It's so great. It's a great character.
And the little what was it, BB, whatever the astromech that has like 900 weapons and so good.
So fun.
So good.
It's one of those series that's fun too because like I was like, what are you going to talk about? Like Darth Vader's just bad and like. They made it such a good story about it. Like it's so great,
Which kind of I did that because obviously we have Obi-Wan Kenobi firing up in May, and it was like let me just see look in canon, out of canon, and just kind of see where they've taken the characters outside of the movies and what transfers over.
The nice thing with those Vader specifically, right, is that all happened after the purchase, so that's all canon, right? So like that all plays into it.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, the
because
reboot of all the Star Wars comics was like in the new canon for sure. And like this is when he's like the most Darth Vader. Like when he is like fully in the suit, he's like bad to the bone in the Empire, like in between like New Hope and Empire is like when you're seeing most of this.
Yeah, he's
like a really cool.
He's
twist.
force choking bitches left and right. In those books. It's like, oh, sorry, I stubbed your toe.
I'm gonna give like a minor spoiler that happens in like one of the first issues when he like flips the like AT-AT that's about to step on him with the Force. It's like this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Swap.
Do you ever ask a question then immediately regret it?
Hey, listen, Kate Carlton just said watching Patrick and Andrew just nod. Star Wars geek out. Yeah, that's what's happening. I would prefer something called Comixology that's just like you take characters like the Flash and then do mixology and make drinks based off of like their colors.
I'm gonna bet that is a book.
Yeah, we need to do that.
I like that Comixology.
Yeah.
Badoom.
A themed bar.
Yeah, at Comic-Con that would kill.
Maybe that's your new inspiration.
Maybe. Screw that talk. No.
on all that note, like you're not working on anything right now. But tell people where they can follow you so they can see when you decide to do something new, what that's going to be.
It is a wildly inactive account, which has been another beautiful thing to even
not
here.
worry about that.
It's one thing I have done here. I was horrible always at taking pictures while I was here. And now this time I've taken a lot of pictures, but I haven't posted to social. I've just been like going to do it. So there'll be like a stream of stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter I got rid of. I was like, I'm just going to X that one. So everything went from Hey Monkey, and I was like, well, what do I become? I was like, oh my God, it's the first time in a decade since social media that I've literally had a different name. And I was talking to Bella of all people, which is where Hey Monkey came from, and she was like, yeah, I don't know, it's just Lenny now. And I was like,
you saying to just Lenny now?
Yeah. So I went on to social, and now I think Instagram it's just Lenny.
It's just Lenny
on Instagram and. Actually, on Instagram. That's it.
Yeah,
love it.
Good.
I love it.
Good.
You're going to want to follow this man. If you're not, I need to hop over. Did you change the name or did you deactivate Hey Monkey and start?
No, I literally just
changed
the.
Okay, perfect. So I don't have to like re-follow if I'm already.
No,
okay.
And if anybody's curious, like you start scrolling back and you'll see work and things and just sort of get a handle. You'll see a lot of what was this conversation was born out of.
But it's just Lenny, and you know what? That's good enough for us.
It's good enough for me too.
Thanks for sitting with us. If you're watching right now and you're not clicking the follow button, click the follow button so that you get pinged every time we go live. We are going to be doing this all day today.
It's going to be a very long time.
That seat is going to be so hot, and by the time this day is done, we will have no voice.
Yeah.
Get it nice and warmed up.
But for now, we're gonna pause, and we'll be back in a few minutes with somebody else in the hot seat. But thanks, Lenny.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, welcome.
Yeah,
for
thank
me,
you
it's
so
like
much.
welcome.
Yes.
I know.
Oh yeah, Lenny, Lauren, Lenny.
Yeah, I know.
We walked over together actually.
Yeah.
So.
Friends.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, y'all.